Hey everybody, it's Cauliflower Man here, and today I'm bringing you another game of Overwatch. I'm not actually playing Symmetra in this game. I know you guys think, he's a Symmetra main, he always plays Symmetra. That's not what a Symmetra main means. It means you pick Symmetra when Symmetra is a viable pick. And this game, the way my team chose, and the fact that it was Oasis, I didn't really want to do Symmetra. I have a lot of trouble playing Symmetra on Oasis just because it's really wide open. It's really easy for people to get away from you. It's hard to get close enough that you actually are going to do damage against them. Then I just looked at our team here and I thought that we could use a Lucio more. The only tip that I'm going to give you guys for controllers on Lucio, and this one I can't say you have to do this, but it just seems to help me, but turn on his wall riding so you can wall ride while going backwards. It makes it a lot easier for you to wall ride while on a corner. If you're on a corner as a Lucio, you can climb up the wall and just kind of look from the top of the corner down at your enemies and shoot at them, but it's a little bit harder to do if you can't wall ride backwards, because otherwise you have to be moving in the correct direction on the wall, otherwise the wall ride's not going to work. So I just seem to do better with the wall riding when I can wall ride backwards. There are some negatives to it in that sometimes you will wall ride in a direction you didn't mean to wall ride, but after you play with it for a while you'll probably get the hang of it. Another thing, as a Lucio, you're kind of a DPS character, and you really need to focus on going after those healers. So you're going to see me do this right at the start, is I just immediately dive in on their healers, and I'm able to do quite a bit of damage. Good thing about this was our Genji was a badass Genji, so he immediately dives those healers too. And again, if it was just the Genji going after the healers, he would have had trouble killing them, and if it was just me going after the healers, I would have had trouble killing them. But because we were both going after the healers, we had absolutely no problem. We just crush them right here. And this is what I'm talking about when you can just sit on top of a wall, because if I'm sitting up here, the rest of the team's never going to kill me, so I can give my team speed boost or healing and then jump down on an enemy attack without them ever knowing that I was really there until it's too late. And so right here we're just kind of crushing them through here, doing good work. I actually smoke this Pharah when she's in the air. If you get good with Lucio's, with leading Lucio shots, you can crush just about anybody, and even if Pharah has trouble with a Lucio, because it's hard for a Pharah to hit a Lucio. But then this right here, you really need to pay attention. As soon as that Genji uses his ultimate, I immediately use my speed boost and my pump it up. Now the reason why you do this is because Genji has a lot of trouble catching up to enemies when he's in his ultimate form, especially if he doesn't get a kill, because if he doesn't get a kill, he doesn't get his dash back, and he has no mobility. So as Lucio, if you're able to give him a speed boost and use your pump it up, you just crush them, okay? Or not you crush them, but your Genji is going to crush everybody because they can't get away. So that's really the way that you want to do it. And then if the enemy team if the enemy team's Genji uses his ultimate, you have to use your sound barrier if you have it. Another thing to use when an enemy Genji uses their ultimate is speed boost. I know a lot of people think oh, I need to heal all the damage that got done, but if Genji starts hitting somebody, you can't out heal the damage that Genji does. So the speed boost, like I said, if he doesn't get a kill immediately, he loses his dash, and if everyone has speed boost, then he'll never catch him, so he's going to be completely wasted. So Lucio, if you play him right and you know enough about how the game works, you can easily shut down a lot of different opponents. So he's really a lot of fun to play, especially if you start playing him very aggressive and start getting a lot of kills. Because one thing I've noticed when I play Lucio, I don't get a huge amount of damage, but because I'm working with my team the whole time and I'm following up on kills that they're about to get, a lot of times I will have a medal for eliminations, and it's not rare, or it's not rare at all for me to have gold elims as a Lucio. Now obviously as Lucio, like I said, I'm not doing a lot of damage, so I'm not the one really getting the kills. I'm kind of stealing other people's kills, but obviously that's what you want to do. Get every kill you can, finish off every kill you can, and I'm just kind of a finishing character as a Lucio. That's the way I see myself when I play, is I'm a finisher. I let my team go in there, do some good work, and then if there's an opening, I'll go in there and I'll finish them off. Then again, whenever you start, always try and focus on those healers. I don't really have a good way to get in on their healers. Luckily our Genji got their Mercy right away. Like I said, he's a pro Genji. He's just crushing their Mercies. I just was lucky enough to get him in public queue after a few times. And then, like I said, with Lucio, you're a finisher. So I almost wanted to follow that Lucio back into his spawn, but that was a little bit too far. But you can follow people very far as a Lucio, and that's really the way you want to do it. And another thing too, another character that Lucio is very good against is a Reaper. He's good against, and in this meta, everyone's saying it's a Reaper meta. I would sort of agree with that, but Lucio is just such a hard counter to a Reaper that I feel like if you have a Reaper on the other team who's doing a lot of trouble, just be a Lucio. The reason why you want to be a Lucio is because, one, you've got speed boost, so anytime any of your enemies are too close to that Reaper, you can speed boost them out of there, or you can speed boost yourself out of there. He's got his little boop so that if Reaper gets too close to you, you just boop him away and then he's not doing any more damage. And then with his healing, if you're booping Reaper away and you're speed boosting away and then you switch to healing, all of his damage gets negated, and you can still shoot him at this mid-range and you'll just crush him. So a good Lucio will beat a good Reaper every single time. So I feel like if you don't really know what to do against a Reaper, obviously you can do a Pharah who flies in the air, but Pharah's sort of weak at the high levels of play. I prefer Lucio. That might be because I'm terrible with Pharah, but I prefer Lucio, and obviously Lucio is never a bad pick for your team. You can't ever go wrong as a Lucio. Then again, that's just another example of right there, we were getting swarmed by their team. I was asleep, so I switched myself to speed boost and get most of us out of there. We did lose one person, but I mean, people are gonna die. That's just the way it is. And then if you'll notice too, this team, the one thing that I love about this team is whenever we kill a few of their team, we play hyper aggressive. If you have the man advantage, you might as well push the team. Like, let's say you can get 2 kills and they've got 4 people in the back line. Well, you're going to win that fight every time, so have your team go back there and try killing a few of them. Obviously, you need some good teamwork to get this done. And I was lucky enough that the team I was playing with was hyper aggressive. That's really my play style, is hyper aggressive. I always want to be pushing in on the enemy team and trying to embarrass them. That's just the way I like to do it, and luckily enough I got a team here that was doing that with me. And if you, unfortunately right there you can see all the misses I'm getting on that Ana. My shots were close, it's just sometimes you miss. It depends on kind of where they move, and you never have any idea where they're going to move, so it is what it is. But we end up winning that round too, and so we're able to take the win here as Lucio. And then finally here, this last video, I am not playing Lucio, I'm playing one of my best tanks. I'm playing Winston. Look at that golden gun, it's just beautiful. But anyways, with Winston, a lot of people play Winston incorrectly, because Winston, he is a tank, but he's not a tank that you want in the center of a fight. Like, sometimes he's good in the center of a fight, but he doesn't have much armor, he doesn't have much health, so he's more of a flank tank in that you want to get in sort of behind enemy lines or on enemies who are by themselves, and then because you have enough health, you'll be able to kill them before they kill you, and there's nothing they can do about it. So if you notice here, I just keep going from one enemy who's by themselves to the next enemy who's by themselves, and then immediately I just run back to safety. That's how you have to do it. He's just about getting quick kills and then getting out of there. And then another thing too is look at how far ahead of the rest of my team, me and my diva are. I'm playing with this diva. It's a great diva. It's a person I play with a lot, and we push the advantage anytime we have it. So this entire battle, we've basically got the other team 2 down. And so we've got massive advantages in each team fight, and so we just keep pushing and pushing, and we just keep them 2 men down the entire battle. That's really the way you want to do it. Obviously you can't overextend, but anytime you have an opportunity to go into the enemy's line and kill him, you really need to. Unfortunately right there, I was waiting to use my ultimate, but I got killed too quickly, and so I end up dying. So that's really not a good place for me to die, but luckily enough the rest of our team does pretty well. Our Mercy has that ultimate, and she's kind of holding on to it for a while. If you're ever playing Mercy, the only thing I would say to you is don't be afraid to solo res. Your team's gonna get toxic about it for you, or get toxic on you for it, but just don't be afraid to. This Mercy does a great job, so I'm not saying anything about her. She gets this triple res right here. She's doing fantastic. You'll see later that she gets another or a couple other really good resurrect. So I'm not saying this Mercy was doing bad at all. I'm just saying a lot of times you'll see Mercies let double reses go. You'll see them let vital single reses go that would have won you the encounter, and I don't know why they do that. I mean I know why they do it. It's because they just get a bunch of toxic players, and obviously if you've seen my other videos, I don't really have any respect for most of the Overwatch community because they're just very toxic, they're very childish. So if you're playing Mercy, you have to understand that, so don't listen to it. But if you are in a battle, let's say you get 2 kills in the battle and your tank dies, that is definitely worthy of a resurrect, especially if you know the enemy team doesn't have a resurrect or you've killed the enemy team's Mercy, because your tank is a vital character. So a lot of times it can be useful to single res a tank or a healer. I would never single res a DPS unless they have like an ultimate. Like let's say your Reaper dies and he's got his ultimate and you're right at this point right here, it might be worth single resing him. But generally speaking, you never single res a DPS, but if it's like a tank or something, you might think about it. But again, this Mercy's doing great. She gets that beautiful res right there, and then I just go immediately after that Mercy. And if you watch this video, I'm basically, anytime a Mercy is alive, I'm killing the Mercy. That's really your job as a Winston, is you choose the squishies on the other team to die. So he's a weird tank in that regard, in that you're not actually just trying to go in there and brawl it out. You're trying to pick certain engagements and kill vital enemies, and that's really the way you have to do it. But again, the main purpose of these videos is just to show you guys and highlight the way you play hyper aggressive to win. If you really want to get good at a high level, it's about being aggressive and pushing every single opportunity that you have. And right there, that entire game, me and my diva, we were pushing the enemy team because we had him down a few people every single one of those engagements. And as a diva or as a Winston, it's very easy to push way ahead of your team and then retreat without getting killed. That's really the way you got to play it.